You've been waiting all week for that Saturday show. Tune in, see what happened, let your troubles go. Work real hard, now it's time to take it slow. Kick back and relax with that Saturday show.
This song's called Burque. Las sandías must be a gift from God. Oh, how I never felt so alive. Cuando miro por allá es nuestra ciudad donde nació. Quien yo por allá es donde tomó el agua, es donde nació Reviva. Yo soy hijo de Burque. Yo soy hijo de Burque. Yo soy hijo de Burque. Yo soy hijo de Burque que no. Yo soy hijo de Burque. Yo soy hijo de Burque. Yo soy hijo de Burque. Y yo soy hijo de Burque que no. Yo soy hijo de Burque hasta el día muerto. Algunas Troyan muy despacio. Come chile rojo cada día y noche. Mejor es verde y sin más sol. Sin alma, sin más sol. Tu alma, sin más sol. Sin alma, sin más. Mex can't keep us away. See the sky, see the sun every day. Most people on that chill time mind state. We joke about it, don't expect to get it done today. Got the land of mañana. My heart doesn't get hotter than a sauna. We stay flush and high on marijuana. People puffing their cars, doing what they want. Girls tattoos see us just like they mama. Si quieres venir a mi casa después de esta si debes. Si quieres comparte la cama con Buda, no puedes. Y si quieres votar, acelera la mota. Si debes, si eres hijo de Burque, eres hija de Burque, eres hijo de Burque. Yo soy hijo de Burque que no. Yo soy hijo de Burque hasta el día muerto. Unas troyanos despacio. Come chile rojo cada día y noche. Mejor es verde sin razón. Sin alma, sin razón. Tu alma, sin razón. Mi alma, sin más.
Great music from Reviva called Burque, a great way to start your Saturday morning. And welcome to That Saturday Show. I'm Jim Harvey, and I'll be your host this morning. Hope you're having a great day so far. Let me start off by giving you a little news. On March 16th, Michelle Obama launches a new TV show on Netflix called Waffle and Moochie. It's designed for kids, but grown-ups are encouraged to join in. You'll be able to discover, cook, and eat delicious foods from all over the world and build healthy habits. Don't miss that show. And it's going to be a series, but it starts March 16th. Be there. Now, does anybody know about the upcoming mayoral race in this town? Has anybody shared any information with you? Who's running, who's not running? Anybody putting their hat in the race? What the election day is? Has anybody told you? They haven't told me. Let's find out. Let's keep our ear to the ground. Let's start asking questions. And speaking of questions, let me ask this again. Why is there no black representation in Albuquerque city government leadership? Why is there no representation of the black community in leadership positions in Albuquerque city government? Or, for that matter, on our school boards? We need to know these things. And we know that there's a school board election coming up this year also. I encourage you, let's make certain that the African American community is represented on the school board. Get out there and run. Let us know that you're running, and maybe we can just get behind you. All right? Let's do that. So, we're going to bring in a new segment in our perspectives, and this week we're talking to black youth about civil rights and how they feel about what's going on in Albuquerque, their experiences, their outlooks. So let's take a look. Welcome back to That Saturday Show, and I'm Jim Harvey, your host. And it's a great morning to have a good discussion with some of the more incredible, engaged, conscious, and hardworking young people in Albuquerque, New Mexico. And during this particular month, we want to focus on our youth, especially young people who are doing exciting things out here in the community, and get some opinions in terms of just what it's like to live in Albuquerque in these times and witness things that are happening both here in the city as well as around the country. So we're joined by this wonderful and dynamic team, and I'm just going to start with this young lady who is pictured just below me, and her name is Siobhan Watson. Some of you probably already know her. But Siobhan, if you would just start off the introductions, and I'm going to go around and ask everybody to do the same.
Okay. My name is Siobhan Watson. I am the Youth Advisor Manager for That Saturday Show. I currently attend the University of New Mexico with a double major of Sociology and Africana Studies with a minor of Crim. Yeah.
Wonderful. All right. Who's next? Let's see, Latanya. You want to
Hi.
introduce yourself?
Okay. Hi, my name is Atanya Lopez, and I'm a student at Cibola High School. I am 14, turning 15 soon. I've been invited here because I am very open-minded about the African American community and what goes on with it, and how can I help youth today in the future get through these times.
Welcome, Latanya. All right, and let's see, who's next on that screen? Miliana?
Hi, my name is Miliana Smith. I'm attending the University of New Mexico with a major in sociology and a minor in special education.
Fantastic. And above you is Aja?
Hi, my name is Aja Bell. I attend the University of New Mexico. I'm a psychology major with a minor in criminology.
All right. And let's see who we got over there. Who's that Dion person?
What's going on, everybody? Good
All right.
afternoon. Good afternoon. Thank you so much, Mr. Jim, and my little sister, Siobhan Watson. Well, good evening, everybody. My name is Dion Watson. I'm currently a senior at the University of New Mexico. I'm majoring in international business and economics, and I currently hold a unique position within ASU&M, which is the student government at the university level, and I'm the director of diversity, equity, and inclusion, a part of UNM Black, and then later I'll be joining UNM BSU.
Fantastic. And last but certainly not least, Elijah. Where did Elijah go? All right, I saw Elijah earlier. All right, maybe he'll come back in again. All right, so welcome all of you. And again, thank you for taking the time on that Saturday show so that we could have this full-throated discussion about what's going on in New Mexico, how you see yourselves, how things affect you. And, I'm first and foremost encouraged by your educational pursuits. I think that that's incredible that you're just out there doing what you've got to do in order to set your life in motion and also be able to make some significant contributions to family and to community. So let's just have this conversation, and let's start with the question I have for you is, what is it like living in Albuquerque as a person of color, particularly as an African American? Elijah, you're back with us.
Yeah,
Talk to us. That's
I lagged out. I had bad Wi-Fi, but my name is Elijah Davis. I am from Albuquerque, New Mexico. I'm currently not in school, but I went to school at Colorado Mesa University, and I majored in sports management.
fantastic.
Yeah.
Colorado Mesa University. Where is that?
Grand Junction, Colorado. It's like on
Grand
the west
Junction.
side, sort of. Yeah.
Okay. Well, great. Well, we're glad you're here in Albuquerque.
Glad to be here. Glad to be here.
Okay. And so since you just came in, I'm going to pose the question to you first, Elijah. What do you see as some of the more interesting challenges about being an African American living in Albuquerque?
I mean, basically, the challenges that I see were really with. There's not many. I don't see a lot of many African Americans here in Albuquerque. I am from the South. I'm from Alabama, and back there's a lot more African American culture, a lot more people, and a little more family to be around. Here, there's not a lot of African American culture being spread around, but there is people here trying to spread it around and make an awareness of it, and I see that every day in like the schools, like with BSU and stuff like that.
Good to hear. Aja, how about you?
I believe a struggle for me growing up here was not seeing enough Black leaders in positions of power, specifically education. I did not see enough Black teachers. I didn't have enough Black teachers, so I didn't really get the push that I feel like most kids need, especially Black kids who are already degraded and made to feel like we're less than. So I think that was a struggle, not growing up seeing many people in power that look like me. At times it was discouraging. I questioned whether I could make it, not seeing it. But we're doing it, we're making it. But I do believe that was a big struggle for me and many other Black kids.
It's interesting to hear you say that, because I was just having a conversation with someone the other day about the fact that there are no African Americans on the school board here. And we'd really like to see somebody step up and run for school board, because I know that there are seats open this year, and a young person running for school board would be just perfect, Aja. But yeah, I completely agree with you on that, and it's really a challenge. Miliana, you want to weigh in on that question?
Yeah, I'll weigh in on it. For me, I grew up in between Albuquerque and Rio Rancho. I went to Rio Rancho schools up until high school, and over there, the Black community is way smaller than it is in Albuquerque.
Mm-hmm.
Um, just being around the certain friends that I had over there, none of them looks like me. Another struggle for me was my hair growing up out there.
Mm,
A lot of people weren't educated on that either, and then getting more involved within Albuquerque and being more towards the west side. Um, the community is a lot smaller on the west side of Albuquerque than it is on the south side or towards Albuquerque High, towards Central, and all of that. And another problem was I agree with Audrey, not seeing anybody who looked like me or looked like us, especially women in a position of power. So I think that was one of the main struggles I had growing up too.
great. Siobhan?
I agree with Miliana and Aja. Growing up with people who don't look like you kind of feel like misplaced and a misfit in a place where you don't belong. Especially growing up with when I was younger, my mom put cornrows and barrettes in my hair, and people used to pick on me because of that. I'm like, well, why? Like, this is what I like. Like, why don't they get it? Like, why aren't they understanding? Um,
Yeah.
just getting teased on because of that, it's very discouraging, especially a woman and a woman of color. It just makes you feel unprotected. And
Sure.
Malcolm X once said, "The most unprotected woman, the most unprotected person in America is the Black woman. The most um, harmed person in America is the Black woman." So I do agree with what Malcolm X said because we do struggle. We are unprotected. Um, yeah.
So, Deanne, I'm going to come to you last because I want to hear from LaTanya. Looking at this through the lens, of a Latina girl, and particularly one who's in high school, I'd really like to get your perspective. What do you see?
Personally, for me, with my Latina side and my African American side, I think it's a little harder growing up in a school where there's just um, Caucasian people and Hispanic people, and there's not really any Mexican or African people, African American people that I could really relate to within my history. And so growing up in school, I never was taught any history on my people, or I didn't have any friends that were like me. And so I didn't have that connection. And growing up now at Cibola High School, I don't have any African American friends or Mexican friends. So I still am unlinked to that side of my heritage and culture. And so it's very hard growing up when there are no teachers who relate to your culture, or there are no students who relate to your culture. And it's also hard not being able to be taught on your culture and just being taught the bad things that happened and not the great things.
That's it. That's it. Dion?
I would say in my season of desperation, what I earned for was a community. I earned for accountability. I earned for the strong Black men to teach us younger Black men, hey, this is what you do. This is how you become a bold, courageous, as Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. would say, be courageous. He also said nonviolence is the way of life for courageous people. So how do I fully execute my thoughts in an educational way? How do I present myself as an educated young Black man to a society that does not like you? And so now what I earned for was the strong Black men in our community to teach us this is how you apply for a job. This is how you write a resume. Most of the things I got here at this point because a lot of Black women helped me. And it's so crazy that CC Siobhan said that the Black women are the most targeted, but yet the Black women are doing so much. And so now that's what I earned for. That's what I wanted, was for the strong Black men. They're here, but I wish we had something set up to where we can grab myself, we can grab the college students, the basketball players, the football players, the young men at the middle school levels, and say, here are the tools for you to be successful. And that's what I would say to answer your question.
That's so good to hear. And yeah, it's a dilemma that we all face here. I moved here 10 years ago from Chicago. And, so I'm spoiled. I'm sure you know that, coming from Chicago. And, I got off the boat talking about, where y'all at? Where y'all at? I came looking for my folks. And it's hard to find us in this town, and even hard to find us across the state. But as we find each other, as small in numbers as we may think we are, look at that woman up there looking at, she had to get in the picture, didn't you? Is that your mom, Aja? Mm-hmm. Hi.
So I was listening to you.
See, all right. See, yeah, your mama knows what I'm talking about. So as we try to navigate through, this oddity that we experience, by living here, a minority within a minority within a minority, if you will, we have to find our way to one another and lean on one another in terms of, in terms of supporting, the things that we need and the things that we know and that we understand, and that commonality that we know exists with us. So we just have to do that. And yes, Dion, I hear you. We need mentors, and we need big brothers and big sisters. And shout out to the women, because our Black women have been phenomenal. They are our leaders. They get out in front and they do things for us. You just look at the elections. Everybody talked about the national elections and how it was Black women who got out in front and said, come on, you got to get this done. And they got it done. We got it done together. So let's talk about the law. The law. What do we see as our issues, or our concerns about Black folks, Black youth in particular, and the law? Anybody want to comment on that? LaTanya?
I think that with Black youth and the law, I think, as Dion said earlier, we do need teachers teaching our youth about the law and what it is to Black people, because the law is unto those of skin color, not of people. And I think we all know that privilege is not of money, but of skin color. And so I think that's what we need to be teaching our youth, and me included, and everybody above us, even adults today, about what we need to learn through our law, what needs to be done. And I think that Black little girls and Black little boys need to know that some things are just not going to happen for you. You have to push yourself. And that some things are going to happen for other people who may not look like you, but you still have to push yourself. And so I think that's where law comes in, and you really have to know your law and know what's going to happen in the future to know where you're going to be. So I think that's the biggest thing with law and our youth.
So have any of you had any negative experiences, or even witnessed something that was negative where the law was concerned, and it was around, our people? Anybody? Any run-ins with the law? Unfriendly traffic stops, inappropriate language being used. We hear about these things all the time, and I was just wondering if what you may have even heard about, has helped shape your attitudes or your beliefs about the law here. Miliana?
I haven't personally experienced or anything or been around anyone who's experienced anything. But we see it all over social media, newspapers, news channels. You see it everywhere. And I want to comment on what Latanya was saying. I believe that it takes an authority figure to say, hey, you don't, other people may have this privilege that you don't. So that's another reason for you to keep pushing. But I also think more authority figures who aren't of color need to recognize the privilege that they have. And I think they need to recognize everything that may happen for them so easily, and for children who aren't of color than those who are of color. And I think recognizing that and putting that out there and making that known is another step in helping that.
That's absolutely right. Liz, you're from Alabama.
Yes, sir. Birmingham,
I,
Alabama.
I know you want to weigh in on this subject.
Um, running for the law, like everybody's been saying, that we need a strong male authority figure or even a woman authority figure to say, and like just to say what we should be mindful for, what people should be saying, and what privilege they have, and what they shouldn't be saying. Because around where I live in Albuquerque, I hear a lot of people who aren't of my skin color saying words that they shouldn't be saying, and it's really because of how they've been brought up and who raised them and who taught them to act how they act. And it just takes that one authority figure that who's close to you to tell you that that's not how you should be acting, and it could really change a person's mindset.
I couldn't agree with you more. Dion?
It's so sad to say that young Black men, women, boys, girls have to be educated to speak to the very people that are supposed to protect them.
Yes.
It's so crazy to even comprehend that Aja, Cece, Latanya, all of us, we have to be educated at a young age. Our mom taught us, Cece and I, at a very young age. We gracefully had an uncle who was a state police officer, and he said, this is how you conduct yourself. This is how you act. Do not make any sudden moves when you're talking to a police officer. I don't care whether that be in your vehicle. I don't care whether that be on the sidewalk on Central. You don't make any sudden moves. Make sure they know where your hands are at all times, and also make sure to look them directly in their eyes. And it's
wow.
So we have to make sure our young Black teens and young adults are now educated, because we see around the country that we see around the country so many young people who are African American are being shot dead right on the street.
That's right.
And I think that is the issue, right, all in itself. And I know that's another topic, but African American people as a whole have the proclivity, and that means to choose to educate themselves. We need more seminars. We need more Zooms. We need more PSAs to our Black people to say, this is how you educate yourself, or these are the outlets to get educated. You know, we have funding from the state, and we have funding from different various places, wherever that may be, but we need to educate not only our adults, but our young Black students. And I think once we start to do that, once we start to say, I stand with this thing, I'm going to promote this thing, I think we'll see a change when it comes from Black on white crime, Black to police officer, Black to authority figures.
So we've got just a couple of minutes left, and I want to end with a question that's around Robin, but and make certain that everybody weighs in on this one as well. But before that, I just wanted to say that I hear you all, and I'm just making a personal pledge at this point, to make certain that I give time and I give energy and I share any knowledge I have that can benefit you all going forward, because you know that's what I should be doing. That's exactly what I should be doing. And so I want to make myself available, and let you know I hear you. I hear you. So I really appreciate you for putting that out there. The final question to wrap this up is a national one. You all saw what happened on January 6th in Washington, D.C. And when you look at that and measure that against a backdrop, of how we look at ourselves and see ourselves, in the smaller society that we live in here in Albuquerque, you know, how does it make you feel? What kind of message does it send to you? And Aja, I'm going to start with you because you got Chicago blood in you.
It was very hard to see. Um, I was in awe of how much leniency, like, I mean, was going on. I immediately said, "Wow, if that was us, I mean, we'd have been shot before we stepped 20 feet to the ground." I mean, it was so hard to see, um, and it was just it was painful. I don't There's almost no words for how I felt that day, because we're called animals, and we're called dangerous. Um, we're literally made to be the villains in so many situations, and then we see something like this happen, and when I saw it, it was like, man, and after this they still gonna call us crazy, and so it just hurt to see,
That's right.
and it hurt to see authorities not stepping up to the job they promised they were going to do. Um, I don't think they worked hard enough that day, because if they wanted to, they would have kept people off the ground. They didn't. They were lenient, like I said. They were almost welcoming. Um, and so it hurt, but it motivated me, because I know if I want to change a system, uh, I got to get in there and do it from the inside. So it motivated me to keep going, work harder, continue to educate myself, get into these positions, and begin the change there.
Thank you so much, Aja. Miliana?
When I saw everything that day, I was like completely disgusted. Like Aja said, it's like what's going on there? Completely lenient. If, like she said, if it were to be us, we wouldn't have even made it so close to the building itself. We wouldn't have been able to get through the doors. We wouldn't have been able to make it up the steps. Anything and anything would have been done to keep us from reaching that building, whether it was tear gas, rubber bullets, everything we saw during the Black Lives Matter movement. And I think what also disgusted me was after seeing that, there were still people on social media. I saw it on my Snapchat, I saw it on my Instagram, I saw it on my Twitter. There were still people defending their actions and defending the authorities' actions. And even at that, they were still saying that those who were protesting during the Black Lives Matter movement, when everything was going on, they were still to say that we were in the wrong. She said we were the animals, we were the so-called terrorists, we were the ones destroying the country. But when it came to January 6th and all those people going in and raiding the Capitol, none of those things were said. It was always all they want this country to be great. They want this, and this, that, and that. They want everything. They're doing this to make this country greater. It was not. It was always something positive, something always defending their actions. And I think when you see that, I think it's time for I thought that was a time for people to really wake up and see that there is a problem, that there is a difference between the way we are treated.
Thank you for that. We've got about a minute left, so I want to get to Latanya and to Siobhan and Dion. Latanya, give me your thoughts.
Personally, I think that I'm agreeing with both of them in their comments about it. It was terrible to see. I remember just opening my laptop and just seeing a news article after news article after news article just coming up about what's happening at the Capitol. I remember seeing it live on the news and thinking like they can get in there when we couldn't even get to the sidewalk. It's
Yeah.
Trump called a National Guard to take down the Black Lives Matter movement, but there was no one for the Capitol. And so it kind of, brewed up this anger, this like cultural anger, because you see these people and you see how many years it took us.
I've 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 lost the sound for Latanya. Latanya, I've lost your sound. I'm going to move on to Dion, though, in the interest of time. Dion?
Yeah, it's so crazy now that we're talking about what happened and transpired at the U.S. Capitol. Uh, Black Lives Matter march. We saw rubber bullets. We saw guns. We saw automatics. We saw just horrific acts. But then when we look at what happened and transpired a couple of weeks ago at the U.S. Capitol, we see that police officers actually were giving the riot shields to the protesters so that they would knock out windows, so that they would invade Nancy Pelosi's office, so that they would invade numerous figurehead offices, and then they do what? They spray painted. They even tried, but little they know it weighed so much, the statues that are in the center of the roundhouse. But it's completely disrespectful. Who built the U.S. Capitol? Slaves. Who built the U.S. Capitol? African American people. It reminds me of what happened in 1921 in Tulsa, Oklahoma. Black Wall Street. They did the same thing. But what we have to do is we have to stand with our brother Colin Kaepernick. I saw Jennifer Lewis say this, and I'll say it in the interest of time, that our ancestors, our great aunties and uncles, they were on two knees to pick cotton. We can at least kneel on one.
Thank you. Thank you, Dion. And Siobhan, leader Siobhan, CC, talk to us.
Yes, sir. Basically what everybody said, like I couldn't agree more. It's just very demoralizing and it's frustrating to see what happened on Capitol Hill, with all the chaos, the ferocious destruction. If that isn't privilege, I don't know what is. You know what I'm saying? Like when the Black Lives Matter, what Latanya said, Trump called National Guard on them, and there were rubber bullets, there were violence against the protesters when we were peacefully protesting for civil rights. But meanwhile, they have the chaos that was going on in Capitol Hill, and they were allowing them to do so. It's frustrating, and it's to the point like, what else can we do? We peacefully protested, we kneeled on one knee, and that was a problem. Like, what else can we do?
You have heard from our youth. Dion, Aja, Miliana, Latanya, Cece, and Elijah. Thank you so much. This is just the tip of an iceberg for a much broader discussion. And I look forward to the opportunity to bring you all back and bring some more people back as well. And let's just blow this thing wide open in the future. Thank you so much for being on That Saturday Show. Thank you for putting something on our minds. And thank you for the leadership that you all have assumed. And now back to the studio.
Good morning and welcome to Good News News. I'm your correspondent, Hasani Alujimi, and I'm Gugu for Good News. Now, the goal of this segment is to inspire and uplift you, the viewer, with nothing but good news. So let's jump right in. Our first story is about a young man named Joe Hilton. He's a driver for Purdue Farms. One night he was driving down Delaware's Route 1. He came across a bad car accident. He got out to help and saw a man running down the highway yelling, "I can't find my daughter, I can't find my daughter." With that, Joe said dad mode kicked in for him and he began to help search. Joe came across, while searching, a gray bundle in the dark. Upon further inspection, he noticed it was the little girl reaching up to him for help. The tearful dad thanked Joe and he went on his way. But the Delaware State Police is now awarding Joe its Good Samaritan honor. Joe stated this: "When I saw the look on that dad's face, man, I said to myself, I've got to do something. And to look at an empty car seat where your child once was, that would make your heart drop." In closing, Joe says this: "Everyone is so angry and upset these days, and it seems like the world is on a level 10. But a little good goes a long way." That's good news. Good news. All right, Joe. That's fantastic. And I'm sure the family truly appreciates your bravery and help in that moment. Thumbs up, man. Our next story is the reason why we celebrate Black History Month. And here we go. One of the surest ways of keeping history from repeating itself is to shine a light on its darkest corners. And that's exactly what Reverend David Kennedy set out to do in his town of Lawrence, South Carolina. Reverend Kennedy and a local historian, Reagan Freeman, established the ECHO Foundation. Its mission: transforming a symbol of racial inequality into an opportunity for reconciliation and education. Their target? The Echo Theater, which at one point was a whites-only hall, later a storefront, museum, and a recruitment center dedicated to glorifying white supremacy. Reverend Kennedy told CNN News, after the store was closed in the courts in 2012, rather than destroy the contents, many of the artifacts were saved to be used as teaching points to engage in meaningful and transformative conversation on racial history. So far, the ECHO Foundation has raised over $375,000 toward its restoration project. A shared thought for both men is this: we don't want to just have a museum and tell a story. We also want to detail what happened here and to make sure it never happens again. It's about to become a place of reconciliation, justice, and healing. Now that's good news. All right, Echo Foundation, I appreciate that, and I'm sure your community does as well. Now, before I go, I'd like to share another personal story with you, if that's okay. Want to hear it? Here we go. Well, a few years ago, I used to substitute, and this time I was substituting for a third grade class. And one of the in-class assignments was to go over spelling words and to use them in a sentence. So one of the words was beans. I said, hey class, we have to use the word beans in a sentence. Go ahead. So a young man goes, my father grows beans. Right on, young man. A little girl says, my mom cooks with beans. There you go, Sally. Good girl. Third student says, we are all human beings. The best way to turn a frown upside down is to get goo-goo for good news. I'm your correspondent, Hasani Olujimi, and I'll see you next time right here on That Saturday Show with more Good News News.
I always look forward to good news on Saturday mornings. Thank you, Hasani. You just make the day for me. You really, really do. Well, We are extremely proud of what we're doing here, and I just wanted to let you know that next week we're bringing you a discussion on Palestine and the civil rights movement. That's going to be a pretty riveting discussion that we invite you to be sure to tune into. And in March, we're going to be introducing our first all-youth show. The young people are going to take over the studio, and they're going to run everything from this desk all the way back, and we're really excited about that. That's going to become a monthly opportunity for young people to get into your living rooms and share their thoughts, share their talents with you as well. So, I'm really tempted here. I'm going to keep my social distance, but I'm thinking about Valentine's Day and celebrating it early as I look at this incredible food here that's brought to us by Bobbi's Homestyle Cooking. And Bobbi is with us today to talk about good soul food and how it will help make your Valentine's Day, and any other day for that matter, really, really special. So welcome, Bobbi. Welcome to that Saturday show.
Thank you so much. I'm glad to be here. So to start off, just to let you know, for Valentine's, we have a menu that is sold out. The menu sold out 2 weeks ago for Valentine's.
Wow.
So
the Valentine's menu, you heard this, it's already sold out. So sorry, and I'm probably going to steal this and take it home with me today.
Well, we do have an Easter menu coming up.
All right, but an Easter menu is coming. So Bobbi, tell me, how long have you been doing this?
9 years this year.
9 years.
Yes.
9 years of turning out such incredible food.
Yes, sir.
That is a good deal. And do you have any special ingredients that you like to put in your food to make it pop like it does?
Everything is simply from my heart.
Strictly from your heart. All right.
But we do offer various cuisines. So we do honor vegetarians, vegans, pescatarians. We definitely honor all different type of cuisines.
That's fantastic. So there are choices. We've got choices.
Yes.
I love that.
Yes.
I love that. So what do we got here today, Bobbi? Tell us what you got.
So today what we have here is we have red beans and rice. And of course, the pork is involved with our red beans and rice. And then here we have something that a lot of people in Albuquerque are asking for. And we do have people that provide it, but it's not enough of it. So what we have is smothered oxtails, mesmerizing macaroni and cheese, and collard greens. And this batch of collard greens is made with pork. I'm sorry, it is made with turkey for those who do not prefer pork. So we have different varieties of greens. We have vegetarian greens. We have, of course, the good old soul food with pork. We have turkey, and we also have chicken. So we have different varieties of greens for those who have a certain preference.
That's incredible. That's incredible. So you deliver, don't you?
We deliver. We definitely deliver.
Talk to us about that.
So we have a pre-made meal program, and we started that when COVID first took over. And for a minute, we were like, oh my God, it's over for us. And with family members and different customers, they were like, hey, we still want your food. So we were like, you know what, let's deliver. Everyone else is delivering, let's deliver. So we have a pre-made meal program. And the pre-made meal program not only goes out to those who just want comfort food, but it also goes out to those who are on certain diets, senior citizens, disabled citizens, and those who just don't have time to cook, single parents. And once again, those who just don't have time to cook. So what we do is we deliver on Sundays, and we deliver a week worth of meal for them. And so every 2 weeks we put out a new menu. They're able to choose from that menu. They put their menu together, and we deliver it to them fresh and hot on Sunday.
These aromas are getting to me, I'll tell you. But in full disclosure, I have to let you all know I'm one of Bobbi's weekend customers.
Yes.
And I'm never disappointed. In fact, I'll hang around the door waiting for my food to be delivered. It is just wafting in. So, Bobbi, talk to us about some of the places that you've actually provided services to, because I know this is catering, and so I know you're just all over town when it comes to catering.
Yes.
So talk about what that's like, what the catering experience is like for you.
You know, the catering experience, I really love it because I'm never sitting still. I'm never in just one place. And we have been blessed throughout the years. We've catered for Sandia National Labs. We've catered for the Albuquerque Healthcare for the Homeless. We've catered for New Mexico Solutions, which is a great program for the mental health.
Wonderful.
We've catered for the Rape Crisis Center. We've catered for P&M, and we still cater for P&M when they have their virtual meetings. We deliver their meals for them door to door before they start their virtual menu. And we have many more different companies and organizations that we cater for, that we have and we still do cater for. So we're blessed, and I definitely thank God for all of our customers, definitely, because it's a different, it's many different cultures who come together, and they love and believe in Bobbi's Homestyle Catering. So we're happy for that, because without them, we would not be here.
Well, I believe in Bobbi's Homestyle Cooking too, I have to tell you. But now, just slowly get us excited. Just run through a typical menu. Talk about some of the things on the menu. Just make our viewers out there more hungry than I am right now. And that's a hard thing to do because, like I said, this is wearing me out.
Yes, sir. And first, to let you know, on February 21st, we are delivering soul food menus, soul food meals. We have Soul Touching Sunday on February 21st. We do have a few slots left. We have reservations that have already been placed, but we still do have a few slots available for those who would like soul food. And for that menu, we have smothered chicken, we have smothered pork chops, we have smothered oxtails, macaroni and cheese, rice, black-eyed peas, collard greens, macaroni and cheese. So those are some menu options that are available for Sunday, February 21st. But as far as our menu, like I said, we offer various cuisines. So we cater to our vegans, we cater to our vegetarians, we cater to the soul food cuisine. We have our Asian infused cuisine as well. We have our Italian infused cuisine as well. So we have a lot to offer. It's not just about soul food. We love where we come from. We represent where we come from, but we take care of everyone.
Now, Asian infused, what is that like? What's that?
It's the Asian menu, but with Bobbi's Homestyle Catering's touch.
All right. An Asian menu with Bobbi's love.
Yes, definitely.
I love that. That is so good. All right, so let's see. What are some of the things that you do in order to get your kitchen prepped for the kind of food that you're preparing?
So
what are some of your steps?
First of all, we make sure that we stay sanitized all the way through. You know, a lot of people don't realize what comes with not only just Bobbi's Homestyle Catering, but anyone in the restaurant or catering industry. We have to shop, we have to prep, whether it's ordering, whether it's getting out on foot to buy that food, to prep that food. So there's a lot of things that's behind the scenes besides just delivering that food to the door and it tastes the way that it tastes. We have to prep, we have to shop, we have to prep, we have to cook, and then we deliver. And then, as far as Bobbi's Homestyle Catering, we do follow-ups. We stalk our customers. We call them afterwards just to make sure that everything is to their satisfaction. If it's not, we want to know that it's not, because we're not just here to take your money. We're here to satisfy your soul as far as food, whether it's Asian, Italian, or soul food, whether it's New Mexican cuisine, whatever it is, we want to make sure that it is to your satisfaction. But there's a lot of work behind the scene in preparing one simple meal for a guest.
So you mentioned Italian food. What are some of the items on your Italian food menu? Because I know people here are always running to Italian restaurants. And, you know, from what I know, I'm sure you're giving them a run for their money.
Yes, we try. So we have an excellent creamy Italian chicken fettuccine. We offer chicken cacciatore. We definitely have a wonderful chicken parmesan, eggplant parmesan, shrimp parmesan, as well as fettuccines, parmesans. We offer so many different, we have a wide variety on our menu. And a lot of people, when they go to our website, some of them will say that there's no prices here. Well, we customize everything. because what one customer wants, the other might not want. So once we speak to you and we get an idea of what you want, we put a proposal together for you, and you have an option to pick and choose and put what you would like, put together what you would like, so we can make sure that we provide exactly what you've asked for.
So your menus are customized.
Everything is customized.
I love that. I love that. I do. What kind of crew do you have working with you?
It's family. And I thank God for my family. I do. I thank God for my family, from my sons to my mother to my cousins to my aunts. Well, my aunt, I only have one aunt, so that helps, should I say. But it is, right now, it is family. Our staff is family. We work well together. They take this just as serious as I do, because they know that this is a passion for me. This is my heart. This is my love. And they treat it just the same way that I would treat it.
We're talking with Bobbi's Homestyle Cooking, and these meals are screaming at me. They've got my name written all over them. So do this for us all. Tell us how to find you.
You can call us at 505-385-0963. You can also email us at cooking@bobbishomestylcooking.com. You can go to our website, which is bobbishomestylcooking.com.
And that's B-O-B-B-I?
B-O-B-B-I-S.
Don't
no
get it
E.
twisted. B-O-B-B-I, no E.
Right.
And no Y, right?
And it is Bobbi's Homestyle Catering. A lot of people get it confused and say Bobbi's Homestyle Cooking. It is Bobbi's Homestyle Catering.
Bobbi's Homestyle Catering. Good grief. I'm so glad that you're here.
Yes. And Jim, I just want to say thank you, because you've been one of my biggest supporters from day one, and I greatly appreciate you. And then also, I need to mention that the Office of African American Affairs is also one of our customers that we have catered to for quite a while as well. So I just want to make sure that I mention them as well.
That's great. So we've got about a minute left, maybe a little less. Tell us about some of the things that you've got planned for the future.
So, like I said, we have Soul Food Sunday coming up February 21st. We have Easter coming up on April 4th. We have Easter delivery on April 4th. We cater for various occasions: business meetings, social meetings, tea parties, birthdays, anniversaries, homegoings, you name it. Whatever you need, we can provide that for you.
I'm moving in.
Yes, sir. And as you can see, Jim, we took the time and we deboned your oxtails for you, so you don't have to pick. It's already done.
Our guest is Bobbi's Homestyle Cooking and Catering, and don't miss out. This is food that is for the soul, for the heart, and we thank you for being here.
Thank you, Jim.
All right. Thank you. Bobbi's Homestyle Cooking.